Your absence hums a rhythm I can't undo. Every word that left your lips now lingers on my skin. A melody of not enough under my skin. I pour my tea, I sip slow, I try to breathe, but rejection's shadow won't leave. It curls around my spine, whispers in my ear, telling me the truth I don't wanna hear. It's not hate, it's a weight, a quiet ache I can't escape. It bends my heart but makes me see the lessons in what wasn't meant to be. Echoes of no, they hum in my chest, teaching me limits, teaching me rest. It cuts like silk, soft but deep. Rejection's the wound that teaches me to keep. I feel it, I breathe it, I hold it close. Every no is a ghost I chose. Kneel so plain, smooth and true. Rejection's a mirror reflecting me. Streets we never shared. Hear your laugh in the night air. I question my worth, I question my ways, but the echoes teach me to count my own praise. Every closed door, every faded text, every love that left me perplexed leaves a rhythm, leaves a groove, a space for me to move. It lingers, it bends, it doesn't break. It's a quiet teacher in its wake. It carves my edges, refines my skin. The impact of no teaches me within. Echoes of no, they hum in my chest, teaching me limits, teaching me rest. It cuts like silk, soft but deep. Rejection's the wound that teaches me to keep. I feel it, I breathe it, I hold it close. Every no is a ghost I chose. Neo soul pain, smooth and true. Rejection's the mirror reflecting me too. I cradle the ache, I cradle the sting. Let it remind me what strength can bring. In the quiet I find my voice. Every night for me becomes my choice. Soft hums, soft lights, I let it flow. The echoes of no, the scars I know. Neo soul whispers, velvet and slow. Rejection teaches me how to grow.
Georgia, Georgia.
Yo, just pulled up to the Love Palace. Ain't no cap here, just facts and feels. Queen Kellz on the mic, we talking ships, all kinds. Pull up and unpack. Listen to friendships that held me down through the struggle. Companions who dipped when I stepped out the bubble. Family ties that tug, some tight, some frayed. But we lay it all out, let the truth get played. No judgment, just lessons on velvet chairs. We speak from the gut, raw love, stripped bare. GoddessDeeofLuv, got that glow like sage in the wind. Queen Kellz hit the mic, truth spilling again.
Ships, we talk it, we walk it. No filters, just real. Love Palace, the spot where your soul can heal. All them ties, all those vibes, we ain't letting them drown. We lift ships up, never tear them down.
Hey Hey y'all, hey, and welcome back to the Ships, episode number 53, everyone. It's your girl, Queen Kellz, and I'm sitting here with the lovely, the one and only GoddessDeeofLuv.
Hey y'all.
Guess what, y'all? Today we are diving into a special topic, and this one I've experienced it, and yes, that hits everybody's doorstep sooner or later, and it hit mine. You want to know what we're talking about today? We are talking about rejection. It doesn't matter if it's coming from your job, a friend you've known for years, or that person that you thought was the one. Rejection is basically the universe saying this is not your time or not right now. And that sense of being excluded or turned away when you're looking for acceptance.
That's right, Queen Kellz. And it shows up in so many ways. Sometimes signs are loud, like a breakup text. Coward. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Or we've moved in different direction email. Really? Other times it's silent rejection, where someone just fades out. That's that ghosting, right?
Yeah.
Stops responding, stops inviting you to Sunday brunch without a word. Whether it's social rejection from your circle, family rejection, where it's your own blood, it doesn't get you. It doesn't get you, or romantic rejection. That sting is real. Ooh. I was going to ask you, have you ever been rejected? But you was like already, but I'll ask you that. Anyway. Rejection at its core is the experience of being dismissed, overlooked, or not chosen. It's the feeling of someone not wanting to connect with you, or no longer valuing your presence they once did. But the meaning changes depending on where it comes from. In friendships, here we go, y'all. We're going right on. You see how it just boom, bam, friendships.
Let's talk about it.
Friendship rejection feels like being pushed out of the inner circle. It's when you realize your friend no longer seeks your advice, no longer invites you to sacred places, or no longer values your presence. It's the quiet distance that leaves you wondering, what the heck changed? In friendship, rejection often feels like betrayal of a sacred history. This is when the group chat grows quiet when you speak, or you see the photos of the trip you were invited to. It means a loss of peer validation. When a friend rejects you, it can make you question your personality or your cool factor, or not cool. What's how I know they got cool? Worthiness. Yes, it does. So the reality is, often friend rejections happens because people grow in different directions, or the season just ends. It's really about you being unlikable and more about shifting.
Wow. Okay, so just on that note right there, just want to say that just because you're rejected doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. You may be rejected for several different reasons, and it doesn't matter which way they come. It's just rejection happens, and it doesn't just have to be in just a relationship, or it, like you said, you mentioned job. So don't think that just because you're being rejected that there's something wrong or something's wrong with that person. People have a right to change their mind. People have a right to look for different avenues and different resources. But the one thing that I do know is in family, though, rejection feels like being invisible to the very people who are supposed to know you the best.
Talk about
now, it might be a parent who never acknowledges your effort, or a sibling who just dismisses your accomplishments, or a relative who makes you feel like the outsider of your own bloodline because they say that they didn't grow up with you or they may not act like that they related. Okay. Family rejection cuts deeper because it challenges your sense of belonging in the foundation. It's arguably the heaviest form out there. Okay. Family rejection is when the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally, your parents, your siblings, your extended kin, don't accept your choices, your identity, or your boundaries. So if rejection, so it feels like, sorry about that, but it feels like rejection of your own very foundation. So now the reality of this is that it usually stems from families' own rigid traditions or their unhealed, and unhealed again, generational trauma. When they reject you, they often are rejecting the mirror that they're holding up to their own issues.
Yeah, so let's expound right here. Well, at first I wanted to talk on the friendship side. We got into it because I know me personally, lost a lot of friends because of moving and growing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I'm leaving you, but I have to take care of myself. I had to, even in the family situations, I had to really take the time for myself because I used to give. And then the time that I pulled back and I said, I'm taking it for myself, I could see how it made people feel rejected. Yeah. But it really was because I was growing and I really have to just take the time to myself. Yeah. But when you're a person that's always been there for friends and family and people, it's not looked at that. It's looked at as rejection.
But can I ask you something else?
Sure.
In this space, that sometimes what happens usually is that when you do take time, because here's the thing, we have to also open up the door for people to be able to do what they want to do.
True.
It doesn't mean it's against you. It means they may have something that they need to deal with, or that's something that they're going through, or a way they want to move. And it's okay for somebody to move in a way that you may not feel they should. But because they're their own person, they should be allowed to do that. And it shouldn't be looked at as rejection. I don't feel.
No, I totally agree with you, Kellz. Totally agree with you. But I'm just saying that people, if you're not healed or you're not able to recognize that, and because you've done it yourself, so it's easy for you to be like, oh, they're just having the time to do that. But if you're not even healed, they take that as rejection.
Right. And here's the funny thing. Guess what? I was on looking at a post the other day, and this person was on a dating site. And they said that if they were not healed, they would have took it a certain way, because what happened is they responded to someone's text through the dating site. And in the text, this person said, hey, I'm doing business right now. I don't want you to think that I'm not responding to you. You know how people get these days, but I wanted to let you know that I will respond to you, but I have some things that I have to take care of. Now, this person said, now I could have felt rejected because this person cares more about what they have to do. Or I could look at it, thank you for communicating what's going on. I understand that life happens, so go ahead and do what you need to do. And I said, that is a great way that you should respond. Like, I didn't say that to that person.
I get what you're saying.
Because I read it, I was like, that's a great way to look at it, because most people don't look at it that life is happening for you. Life's happening for them. Where do a person get to be themselves if you take issue with everything that they want to do for themselves? Like, they got to check in with you. They got to pick up the phone every 5 minutes and let you know what's going on. They got to tell you everything that's going on in their life. Or if they don't care about you, or they're really not a friend because they don't respond right back to you. So I think that we really need to open up the door and look at life happens. Sometimes people may or may not be able to be there for you. But if a person communicates with you to say, hey, this is what I'm going through, take that as an opportunity to say, you know what, things do happen in life, and I got to look at that this person may have something going on, and you allow for that.
You're right. You are so right. So now that you happen to mention those romantic relationships,
Yep.
we all know this one, right?
Yeah.
Romantic rejection. It's when you offer your heart, your time, your vulnerability, and the other person says, I don't want this. It's a rejection of intimacy and future vision. This hits our ego the hardest because it feels like a judgment on our attractiveness, our worthiness of love, our value of being on the market. The reality is, romance is about chemistry and timing. Let me say this again.
Say it one more time.
Romance is about chemistry and timing. A no here is simply a sign that the puzzle pieces don't align, baby. It's not a grade of your soul, it's a compatibility report.
I think we talked about this in one last show, my incident where I got rejected. And y'all, now I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I've never been rejected in my life until this time happened. And I'm gonna tell you, it stung a little bit because I found out that the guy was actually already in a relationship, and I was so happy that he was able, because the guys nowadays be like, can't you have friends? They don't care whether or not you're in a relationship. Shoot, they don't be caring that they're in a relationship. But we were out at a fair. I seen a guy and he looked nice, and I was kind of afraid to talk to him. So I was trying to run interference, like and my daughter was like, oh, no, we gonna bring him over here and see what's going on. And they brought him over and they asked him, is you in a relationship and stuff? And he was like, she was like, that she wants your number. He was like, oh no, I'm in a relationship. And I was like, oh, wow. That kind of stung. This is what rejection feels like. I can only imagine what people be feeling literally if they get rejected a lot of times, or if they, just being rejected. But the thing that the insight that it gave me that I've learned from that situation is, one, I didn't take it as a hit to my soul. Like she said, it's about the timing, and it could be about the chemistry. In that situation, it literally was about timing. This man was in a relationship, and I'm not the type to break up anybody's relationships or carry on the conversation. If you tell me you're in a relationship, oh, okay, well, thank you for telling me, and I'm going on. But I must admit that sting from the rejection, that initial sting from that person saying, oh no, I was like looking like, okay. He said no. But he, even though he had a valid reason, it's still the sting was there. Right. So I get it.
So in romantic relationships, rejection feels like having your heart placed on hold or handed back to you unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly handed back is what I got.
It's someone saying, whether directly or indirectly, I don't choose you. Even after you opened yourself emotionally. Romantic rejection shakes your confidence because you've allowed someone into the innermost vulnerable parts of your heart.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
So I have rejected people, right? And one thing that I don't understand is people don't think you should reject them, or you can't reject them. Or some people stay in relationships longer than they have to, even though they're being rejected. Because I know some people that be rejected even in their own relationship, but they still keep going with it, hoping that a person will change their mind.
Right.
But at what point does a person get to change their mind if they don't want to be in it, or if they don't want to have a relationship?
I believe that comes along with the growth, maturity, and then, like you said, realizing what rejection is. That's why we're having this topic, right?
Yeah.
To bring out, like, rejection doesn't mean like it's the all end of all. And I know we talked about this before too. I had a personal struggle with that, being rejected, not in just romantic relationships. I didn't move forward in my jobs because I didn't like being told I go and put myself in these positions and then boom, you don't get it. So rejection, when it seemed like it was normal, was for you're not good. It makes you feel not good enough. Yeah. But this is why we're talking about this as well.
because I want to really push home to everybody that just because you're rejected doesn't mean something's wrong or something's wrong in the situation. Most people will look at it as being a negative and not allowing it for people to be able to change their minds. People can change their minds whenever they want to. And now I know that there are circumstances out there in which people do it where it's wrong or it can hurt you. But I also look at what's involved in all of that. So now that we've defined what it is, that we've talked about how to spot it, sometimes rejection doesn't come with a formal Dear John letter, right? Dear John, rejection.
Dear Jane.
Sometimes rejection comes with it doesn't come with a letter, but it's written in the atmosphere. So knowing the signs to help you pour into a leaky bucket, okay? So if you're consistently wondering where you stand, the signals are usually right in front of your face, like you may say that you're planning something and you really didn't plan for.
You're so right, Kellz. It's about the energy shift. When someone is pulling back, the warmth just leaves the room before the person does.
Yeah.
So let's look at how signs can manifest in different circles so you can stop second guessing your intuition.
Right. So let's get into the signs of rejection, okay? So the signs of rejection show up long before it is spoken. Okay. So in friendships, the signs looks like consistent excuses, canceled plans, energy that used to be warm, it becomes cold, and conversations that shift from genuine to transactional. It's when your friend engages less, shares less, and even begin to treat the friendship like it's an option rather than a priority. So in friendships, a sign are often found in the effort gap. So it's about the effort, right? It's less about a big blowout or a fight and more about the disappearing act. So I'm going to get into 3 ways in which you can notice this, all right?
In French.
In your friendship.
Okay, I'm taking notes.
Yes. So get your pens. You want me to allow time for y'all to get y'all pen and paper out? Because rejection hurts, but you got to know how to notice it so that maybe you're not the one blowing up and making it about a fight, right? So one-way street, okay? This is when you realize that the only one that's initiating the texts or the calls or the hangouts are you. That if you stopped reaching out, the friendship will effectively just end, right? Or number 2 is that you have the inside joke exclusion.
What?
You know what this one is, because I've seen this happen to people, and I've done it to some people. I ain't gonna lie.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. Because I have grown from that. But hey, you're hanging out with a group of people, but they're talking about memories or even events that happened with you, right? But you feel like an outsider in a room full of friends, right?
Or they might be talking about things that happened without you. Since we say like we had plans.
Yeah, yes.
And then you'd be like,
yeah,
I was supposed to go with you to Mexico. And they're like, girl, remember when we went to Mexico? And you're just sitting there like,
where y'all didn't even invite me or y'all just left without me, right? So yeah, so if they do something without you and they're having that whole discussion, but you don't feel involved in that, right? Or what about this one? Because I know all of you probably experienced this one, and I'm sure because I have. The consistent busyness, right? Everyone is busy, but when I'm tied up becomes a more permanent response to every invite that you send, it's a sign that they're deprioritizing the connection.
And just the little excuses. Like, oh, I couldn't answer. Now, don't get me wrong. If I can't answer, I don't usually make an excuse. I'll say, look, this is what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Or if I didn't feel like answering the phone today, but it's always like the same excuse. Oh, I didn't see it. Or this was happening. You know, it becomes excuses. Those are some very good signs. right there.
And the one that hits the most, like when I said I have done that to somebody before, it's only because one, this person really stopped prioritizing the friendship. So I think it's like a two-way street too, because this person stopped hanging out, stopped doing things, and the group of us went out and did something, and then we're talking about it. Well, now this person feels like the oddball.
Yeah.
But you didn't want to even answer the text. So we were kind of like in all of these categories where it was one person was doing this was the reaction of that, and then it just turned into this. And so I know that I put people in that situation because it was like, dang, you ghosted and we all did this, and now we're talking about it, and you're over here feeling some type of way. It's like, well, you should, the person that ghosted is like, well, you should have never brought it up because I wasn't with y'all. Like, what?
Yeah.
I can't talk about it.
So let's talk about in family relationships, the signs. Signs of rejections look like emotional dismissal. When your feelings, needs, or accomplishments are overlooked or minimized. So this may be a parent who praises one child and ignores the other, a sibling who never includes you, or a family that only reaches out when they need something. It feels like you exist in the background rather than being part of a family's heartbeat. Family rejection is often more subtle and layered because you're still accepted to show up for events, holidays, and birthdays and all that. But the signs here are about a lack of depth and acceptance. So they give these surface level conversations. They refuse to engage with the real you. They shut down on the subject when you talk about your passions, your partner, or your truth. Then there's the comparison game. You're constantly being compared unfavorably to other siblings or other cousins. This is a sign they are rejecting your individual path in favor of a template they wanted you to fit. Conditional inclusion. You're only welcome if you act, dress, or speak a certain way. If the real you isn't invited to the table, that is a form of rejection.
That one, that one kind of hit because, like, I've seen it happen. Like, it's really weird. It really is.
Yeah, but go ahead and talk about the romantic relation. What's the signs in the romantic relationships, girl?
I'm just saying. The signs in the romantic relationship are even more obvious, right? Someone who stops initiating rejection, withdraws emotionally, becomes inconsistent, or begins to distance themselves from serious conversations. The shift from the excitement to an obligation, and the connection feels more like effort than it does love. Now, these signs really do hurt because you feel the love changing before you hear the words actually confirming it. So, in romantic relationships, the rejection can be most painful because it's so intimate. The signs are usually involve a withdrawal of affection and future planning. So let's break this down, right?
Go on and break it down.
So, communication breakdown. You got your pen and paper now? Okay. Communication breakdown. The fast, flirty replies turn into one words or read receipts that stay sitting there for hours or even days. You should have known. The lack of future talk. They stop using we and start using I. They stop making plans for next month, next season, or that wedding you were supposed to attend together. Then you have the physical and the emotional distance. Don't touch because touch dries up. And the deep late night talks are replaced by you watching Netflix by yourself. And the small talk is not about whether, you know, about whether you just the weather today is going to be partly cloudy with no chance of me talking to you tomorrow.
Okay.
They're essentially checking out mentally before they leave physically.
Yes, you are so right. I mean, we're laughing, but this is serious though. And you know, we're supposed to laugh anyway. Y'all.
Here's the thing. Once you know, first of all, I'm laughing because I noticed that sometimes when you can be telling somebody, because what happens in relationships, I notice, is that people get involved. One thing that we talk about a lot on our show is having communication. You have to have communication. You have to be talking about things, right? But what happens when a person thinks that they're talking about something that they haven't even talked about? Yes. And then the conversation becomes distant because they don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. So then you're like, how is that even planning or making plans or doing this? And then you start to regress, right? You start to be like, okay, well, since you don't want to talk about that, then we're just going to sit here. Or we're going to have this game where we're just going to act like we're in this until it just fades out, right? So you have to have that communication. You have to have that check-in. You got to look at some of these things because they're right in front of your face. And we have to stop being delusional and still trying to stay in situations that we know are finished. Like if they're finished, let them go. I get it. The times that we spent, because we get into, well, I spent this much time building this person, or I spent this much time in. Well, the thing about it is you're wasting the time because you were spending it so much. Not understanding that there's a season for everything. And I think you talked about this on one of your shows, that there's a season. So this might have been the person's season to be in your life to help you, or you help them on whatever they need. And now it's time to move on. I encourage you, if the season has changed and the person or you have changed, communicate that. Because some of these things you don't want to do to a person. But when you communicate and you say that, and if a person still neglects, it's time to move on.
Right. So I know that was a lot because I need to drink me some water. You heard me coughing over here. So when we come back, we're going deeper into a psychological impact, how rejection affects your mind and your spirit, right after this message.
She don't rush when she stepping. She don't rush when she stepping. She let the room lean in. Roots deep, yeah, she grounded. Still fly when she move with them. Plants on the altar, smoke in the air. She been healing while she right here. She don't chase what's ready. She aligned and it appear. No, why? Heart, mind, right, body, loose spirit, talk when she move. Holistic royalty by Kellz. She don't say much, you can't tell. Holistic royalty, she move well. Mind, body, spirit, all in sync, she well. Holistic royalty by Kellz. She don't say much, you can't tell.
All right, y'all. We are back. All right. So now we're going to get into the psychological impact that this has on a person. Okay, in family, friends, and the romantic partners. Okay.
It's always all about all the shit over here. Okay.
Shit. We talked about the signs about how we go beneath the surface, right? Rejection isn't just a bad day. It's a psychological earthquake. When someone says no to your presence or to your love, it sends a rippling effect through your mental health. It's like your brain security system is going off and you don't even know how to handle it right. It can change the way you see yourself in the mirror, but you better not let it.
It really does, Kellz. It's heavy because our minds are constantly trying to make sense of why. We start looking for flaws in ourselves to justify why someone walked away so easily, depending on whether it's a friend, a family member, or a partner. The psychological bruise shows up in different ways. Rejection affects the mind like a bruise. It leaves marks you can't always see.
Well, when it comes from friends, though, the psychological impact often shows up as trust issues. You begin to question whether other friends value you or whether you're always one step from being excluded again. It makes you hesitant to open up or depend on anyone emotionally. And when your social circle or your close friends reject you, it's attacked on your sense of belonging and your identity. Now, the impact might start, you might start experiencing social anxiety. You wonder if they don't like me or anyone. It can lead to masking, whether you start changing your personality just to fit in somewhere because you're afraid of being your authentic self or that your authentic self isn't enough. You lose that safe harbor, the feeling that friends are supposed to provide, leading to a sense of isolation, even when you're in a crowd.
Oh, let me just say, you know what, Kellz? When we came back from that break, I forgot to say something. Congratulations on having your first episode of meditation yesterday, y'all. Yeah, this one over here. So if you didn't get a chance to check out it was the first one, so don't be judging, okay? No, just kidding.
Listen, y'all can judge, but I'm not gonna care. No, you're right though. But here's the thing: we on the World Wide Web, right?
Yeah.
So there's a propensity for everybody to judge. But here's the thing: I'm not afraid of rejection anymore, y'all.
But congratulations on having your first episode of meditation. And I actually did the meditation because I meditate anyway, and I think it's such a privilege to have somebody doing it. So if you're into meditation, go check out Holistic Royalty by Kellz.
And be easy. I'm going to say it like Cardi B said it the best. Be careful with me, okay? Because here's the thing. I'm with Goddess D, and it's so easy for me to be myself. This is what being a family looks like, and you have that feeling. I'm so comfortable sitting here talking, but when I'm by myself, oh boy, I'm so nervous. I know I will outgrow it, but it's just something that comes with the territory when you're doing something and everyone can look at it and kind of pick it apart or say whatever they want to say. They'll do that. But I'm learning that, again, this very subject that we're talking about, I think what it is you're afraid to be rejected. You don't want people to reject you, or you don't want people to criticize what it is that you do. But just to be an inspiration for you guys, you're going to watch this tremendous growth that's about to take over this next 2026. True. Going up from here. Right.
All right. So no problem. Now we're going to talk about rejection we're talking about the psychological. So the rejection from family goes even deeper than that, right? Mm-hmm. It can make you feel unlovable at the core because family is where your emotional identity begins. Growing up feeling unsure and unsupported can shape your adult patterns, make you shrink yourself, over function for love, or fear speaking up because you expect to be dismissed. Because family is supposed to be our primary attachment, and this rejection hits at your foundational security. Let's talk about the impact. This often results in complex trauma or chronic low self-esteem. When the people who raised you or share your DNA reject you, it creates a deep-seated belief that you are inherently broken or unlovable. Psychologically, this can manifest a hyper-vigilant state where you're always waiting for the one other shoe to drop in all your other relationships, expecting people to abandon you because your first team did. That deserves.
That one is a good one.
Whew.
Because that made me open my eyes to see a lot of things that people go through in family and have experienced, because that's deep right there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about that on the Q&A.
Yeah, definitely go talk about that.
So now, in romantic relationships, the psychological impact triggers fear of intimacy or abandonment, right? Romantic rejection can often make you cling too tightly to a new partner or avoid vulnerability altogether. It leaves you doubting whether someone will ever choose you fully, even when the next person has nothing to even do with the pain you've experienced before. So romantic rejection is a direct hit to your perceived desirability and your competence. So this impact often triggers depressive symptoms or obsessive overthinking. So the brain's reward system, that's the part that gets high from your love, literally goes into withdrawal. And this can lead to a hit to your ego and makes you feel physically unattractive or inadequate. Now, you may find yourself in a loop of rumination, replaying every date, every conversation, trying to find the exact moment that you failed, which is only deepens the mental exhaustion.
Ooh, you're right. That whole section, like, I think that's what the Q&A should be about, that whole section right there. The psychological effects that it has on you from rejection. Because I know we want to go deep, but we're going to go ahead and go through. But we can really focus on that on the Q&A. And, of course, other things. But we're going to keep it going because I have a lot to say. And I know we need to get through
this. We can stay. We'll be on a 2-hour
right
here just talk about this stuff.
Right.
But what we want to get into now, after we learn about what the psychological effects are, we're going to get into some coping strategies and the benefits. So we're going to break that down as well. So when you've been through the trenches today, talking about the pain and the signs, but we can't leave you hanging right in the hurt. We have to talk about how you pick up those pieces and rebuild something better. So learning how to cope isn't just about getting over, right? It's about moving through it with your dignity still intact. So believe it or not, there is actually a bright side to being rejected if you know where to look.
That's the truth, Kellz. It's like, you're familiar with this, pruning a plant. It looks a little bare at first, like her poinsettias did downstairs. But that's how we get the new growth. So we're going to break down how to handle these different no's and what you actually gain when the dust settles.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So coping with rejection starts with acknowledging that the hurt is real, right? When you're rejected by a friend, coping with that often means understanding the whole friendship and what is involved. And not every friend is meant to stay forever. Sometimes you outgrow people emotionally, and then coping here means reconnecting with people who appreciate you and give you permission to release friendships that no longer feel mutual. So, one of the strategies is diversify your social portfolio. If one friend or a group pulls away, then lean into other hobbies or communities, right? Where you share common interests. Practice radical acceptance. People that have the right to choose their circle, and you have the right to find that circle that celebrates you. So let me tell you what the benefit.
Okay.
So clear it out. Low vibrational or lukewarm connections. Okay. The benefit here is the authenticity. You stop performing for people who don't appreciate you and make room for soul level friendships who actually align with you and who you are today, not who you were 5 years ago, right? So now rejection from family requires a different type of healing. So coping may involve accepting that some family members don't know how to love in healthy ways. They just don't. Right? And it might mean that setting boundaries, creating distance, or building a chosen family. So you might have to build a family, right? And the benefit of family rejection is, if we can call it that, is learning emotional independence and breaking generational patterns.
Yes. So let's keep it moving. In the romantic relationships, coping means letting go of the ideal that you must convince someone to choose you. Rejection in love redirects you to someone emotionally aligned with you. The benefit is clarity. It saves you from building a future on shaky grounds and teaches you what genuine mutual love should feel like. The strategy, that 90-day rule. I don't know. This ain't Steve Harvey now.
It ain't. We're going to give you them 90 days.
Give yourself a window of time to focus entirely on self-care without looking for a replacement.
Most people don't do that. Okay,
yes.
We'll talk about that.
Use rejection therapy. Intentionally put yourself in small, low-stakes situations where you might get a no to desensitize your ego and realize the world keeps spinning.
That was word.
Yes. The benefit of this. This is the ultimate clarity tool. Every romantic no is a data point. It helps you refine what you actually need in a partner and strengthens your resilience muscles. I talked about this on Daily Dose of D. You learn that your happiness is a DIY project, not something someone else hands to you.
I love that. I really do. I love that. It's all about the mindset shift. So instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Did I do something wrong? Did I fail? What is this making room for is what you should ask yourself. Rejection is a filter and nothing more. It's a filter out the noise so you can hear your own voice again.
Exactly. The biggest benefit of all this, I don't even like this word, is resilience.
Oh.
I don't like the word they have. I don't like strength. I like to say resilience. The biggest benefit of all of this is resilience. You'll find. Once you realize you can survive being rejected by people you love, you stop being afraid of life. you become rejection proof, baby.
Mm.
Because you know your value is internal and not external. Okay.
Ooh, mic drop.
Boom.
Family, don't let a no define your glow.
Bars.
Use it as fuel to find where you truly belong.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we've said all this, right after this break, we're going to dive into a big one now. What to do when someone rejects you. So let's get real practical about how we respond to this, okay? So we'll be right back after these messages.
Okay.
Happy Valentine's Day. Be on the lookout for a Valentine's special on JamaicaEssentials.com.
The petite 9x6 Valentine box opens to a cobalt and silver collection, a 3-ounce body spray with silver atomizer, a 4-ounce tin of whippings. Inside the premium 10x8 Valentine box, every element is chosen to pamper. A 4-ounce body spray and an 8-ounce body wash.
Yeah, we shine, nothing less. Drip so divine, body magic in the air. Jamaica got the vibe, self-love everywhere. Essentials only, keep it real, no stress.
We was on Welcome back, family. Welcome back.
Hey, you know the love day is coming up.
Well, they love day. My love day is every day.
Every day is love day over here.
So if y'all want to give me a gift from Jamaica Essentials, go ahead and do it.
I'll see on my P.O. box. I get love with love.
She already know. Just order.
Yeah.
No, but if you are into that love day, she has wonderful gifts. Now, because people just like to go to the store and get the candy, chocolates, and flowers. This is really a personal box that you can really get from her. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't.
We know.
I don't participate.
Go get the box.
Okay, but you guys can go ahead and get the box. I'll take one.
Any kind of day,
Okay, guy.
Call Jamaica Essentials. The box.
All right.
So, okay, all right, family. Now that we are back, we are bringing it home, okay? We've talked about what we do and why and how we need to talk about how. This is what we need to do right now. So when that door slams in your face, bam.
Like they be
What
doing
is
Jehovah's
your...
Witnesses. Go ahead.
What's your next move?
So
You can't just sit on the porch forever waiting for them to change their mind. You can't sit on the porch waiting for them to change their mind. You have to know how to navigate the immediate aftermath without losing your mind or your dignity.
You're right, Kellz. And before we get into the breakdown, we have to acknowledge why rejection hurts so deeply. It's not just in your head. Scientific studies show that rejection actually mimics physical pain in the brain. It's like a burn or break, but on your soul. This is because as humans, we are biologically programmed to need community to survive. And when we get rejected, our eternal alarm screams danger, because it feels like we're being pushed out into the cold.
And now that leads us straight into the first stage of rejection, which is usually shock and protect. Protest, my bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna shock and then you're gonna protest.
It might protect you. It might do both.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So your brain goes into fix-it mode.
Mhm.
You might find yourself obsessively checking your phone. Yep.
Mhm.
Rereading old texts. Yep.
Mhm.
Or trying to negotiate after you done ghosted somebody for a long time or they ghosted you for a long time. You're protesting the reality of the situation. You have to recognize this stage so you don't let it drive you crazy or drive you into something that you'll regret later.
Yeah. When someone rejects you, the first thing to do, I say this in all my lives, all of the lives I give, pause and breathe. When friends, rejections might seem stepping back and allowing friendships to shift without chasing after someone who clearly wants distance. Give yourself space to accept that dynamic as change and avoid trying to force a connection that isn't being reciprocated.
That part.
Let's break this down. The immediate steps for each of these shifts so we can stay grounded. In friendship, the dignified distance, the move, stop the check-in cycle. If you realize you're the only one keeping the post going and they've gone cold, stop reaching out. Stop it. You really need to stop. Okay.
Capping on their pocket.
The mindset. Realize that friendships have seasons, people. I'm talking to me. Friendships have
She's talking
seasons.
to us.
Some people are just extra in your movie and not the leading actors. Don't force a seat at a table where the conversation dies when you sit down. Redirect the social energy into a hobby or a new group where your presence is celebrated and not tolerated. Hashtag COC.
Let's go. You was right about that. Now, in family, rejections can be so heavy, but the immediate action is to remind yourself that emotional limitations are not reflections of your worth. You may need to emotionally detach, limit your expectations, and protect your peace instead of fighting for someone's approval that someone is not even capable of even giving. Part of moving forward in family rejection is building a supportive connection outside of your bloodline. So what they say, the move, stop seeking validation from people who is rejecting your truth. If it's a parent or a sibling is pushing you away because you don't fit their mode, you have to stop asking them for a grade on your life.
Period. Clock that T.
Man, be in the mindset, right? This is about self-parenting. Sometimes you got to learn yourself. You have to become the source of your own approval. Limit the data that you share with them. If they can't handle your light, then go get to know your business. They don't get to know your business. Sorry about that. If they can't handle your light, I'm going to say it again, they don't get to know any of your business. So focus on building a chosen family or mentor, a friend who provides the same support your DNA didn't.
I don't know why I had to do romantic
Yes,
relationships.
I do, because I don't want to do it because I'm a pop off.
Okay, y'all. In romantic relationships, when someone rejects you, your job is not to convince them otherwise. You're going to sit with that pain. You're going to process it and remind yourself that their decision frees you from unbalanced love. Moving forward means reclaiming your identity, baby, outside of the relationship and avoiding the urge to self-blame or compare yourself to others.
Don't do it, please.
What you must avoid, no matter what, is begging, chasing, or trying to prove your worth. Rejection is not a sign to shrink. It is a sign to shift. In relationships, the no contact rule. Here we go, y'all. Because some of y'all, it's hard for y'all now. The move. This is the big one. Do not text them.
What?
Do not text them. When a romantic partner rejects you, your brain is literally going through a withdrawal from the love chemicals. Contacting them is like a hit of a drug that only makes the crash worse later. The mindset. Treat the rejection as a final answer, not a to be continued. Use this time for a soul audit. What did you lose in the relationship that you need to find in yourself again? Reclaim your space, your routine, and your bed. The best way to move forward is to make your life so beautiful that their absence becomes a footnote and not a story.
Can you hit the?
Okay, I got
you. Yes. And then at the end of the day, what you avoid is just as important as what you do. Avoid the social media stakeouts. Again, avoid the social media stakeouts. Avoid the social media stakeouts. Do not post subtweets or sad quotes, hoping that they will see them. That gives you your power. That gives your power away, right? The goal is to move on the first stage of shock into the final stage of acceptance as quickly and as healthy as possible.
Precisely. You are a whole vibe all by yourself, baby.
You are.
Rejection isn't a funeral.
Nope.
It's a graduation from a situation that no longer serves your highest good.
So why does rejection hurt? The first stage is silent rejection. Steps to handle it right here.
All right.
Okay. So we're going to bring it home. We talked about what and the why. Now we need to talk about the how again. When the door slams in your face, what is your next move? You can't just sit on the porch, the couch, or in your bed waiting forever for them to change their mind.
Come on, we at the end, baby. We at the end. Look, it's gonna pop. You right, Kelly. We don't want them to change their mind. Rejection may hurt, but it never defines you. It directs you, it redirects you, and it protects you from places you don't belong.
That is so true. And I want you guys, listen, come close. Always remember that being rejected by the wrong people is preparation for being chosen by the right one, right? So at the end of the day, what you avoid is just as important as what you do. Avoid the social media again. That gives your power away. The goal is to move out of that stage from shock into the final stage. Just accept it.
Yes.
Again.
And like I said, it's not a funeral. It's a graduation from a situation that no longer serves your highest good. So, thank you for tuning into the Shifts, episode 53. We love you all, and we're going to see you at 8:30. 8:35 or 8:30. We went a little over. We're gonna
this is a good subject.
This is a good subject. So we did go a little bit over, but this is something like I know we talked about this before, but it's like it's this new insight. So she already said, baby, come back. We're gonna see you back here at the Love Palace for a dialogue. Hit the panel, come talk with us. You see the water, we're deep in the water with this one. We deep in the rejection water right now on this shit. So we're in a submarine.
There's ways to come back.
Absolutely. So we're gonna see you over back here about 8:30, 8:35. Get you something to drink, eat, and so we can have this dialogue. Okay.
I hope you have your notification bell turned on, so that way we don't have to keep reminding y'all to come on back. Just go get your water or whatever you need to eat, whatever you need to do. Baby, come back.
All right. See you soon.
Welcome to the space where worlds become portals and their soul remembers. I am Alicia Young, and this is
I'm like truth, breathe like mist. I carry lifetimes in these hips and prayers inside my wrist. They said I'm too much, too wild, too free, but baby, I was never meant to be. Quiet, tame, contained, I am so untamed. Ooh. Magic in my skin, healing while you hold me.
Your soul already knows.
Say my name, feel the shift begin. Alicia Yeti on soul work within. Soul work within. She just glows, draws you in like midnight gold. A sip of her truth and you'll unfold. Goddess D got soul control. Ay, this is grown folks medicine. Don't play unless you're ready to swim. Deep, real deep. A daily dose of D. She speaks love fluently. Red wine wisdom with a side of clarity. Come through for your blessing. A daily dose of D. This ain't lust, it's legacy. Touch your heart, shift your frequency. In the Love Palace where soul ships realign. Let love dock right here. She don't chase, she attracts. She don't beg, she reflects back. So if you're here, you align. Now receive.
We lift ships up, never tear them down. Yeah, we building, not breaking. Say that. Female, you don't gotta shrink in here. Your story got weight. So bring every ship. Let it dock. Let it be seen. Let it be set free. You're safe now. Welcome home.
Georgia, 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 Georgia.